world, I'm Miyah, and I would like to welcome you to the latest episode of my blog series. So far, I have been able to share my own experiences on what it's like for me to live with Aspergers syndrome. A second thing that I will do is give my 2 cents on what's going on with autism in the media. A third area entails providing tips and advice for those of you that are on the spectrum, as well as reaching out to family members and friends and educators, peers and mentors, in addition to professionals and employers and anybody in the community and the like. Now, before I dive into tonight's topic, I have 2 things to mention. Number 1, if you click up here in the upper right-hand corner, this is a viral reaction video to The Speechless with Carly Fleischman when she did that interview with that celebrity. And I really got a kick out of it, and I liked that they were willing to support her. So please be sure to check her out. And a second thing I would like you guys to do is check out my scholarly blogs on wordpress.com. And you can find those under helloworld240.wordpress.com. That's helloworld240.wordpress.com. And what I would like to do now is not only share my experiences of living with Asperger's syndrome, but I also would like to give some tips and advice. So last Wednesday, as you guys know, I went to the Georgia PBIS conference, and I did my first presentation where I did not really talk about my experiences of becoming a successful individual learning these social skills. Rather, I talked about the depth of learning social skills through natural and paid supports. And then when my presentation was over, I attended another one on getting our school systems connected with families and how that's so important. And that's what's going to drive our PBIS and create better social skills and better behavior supports. So when I was up there listening, or down there, because this is Washington, D.C., it came to the back of my mind of the experiences that I faced when I was in special education back in the 90s. And during those years, I was sent to a special education system because the economy was a lot better and they could, quote, pay these big whopping taxes to get me there. And these programs supposedly had great resources for individuals on the spectrum and their families. Well, a majority of the people in the program were very severely autistic, and so I felt like I could not communicate with them, even though I really enjoyed them and I got a laugh out of some of the things that they did because I didn't quite understand what was going on. But the milder students like myself had other issues like mild cerebral palsy, or we had other issues of ADHD or ADD or dyslexia or even bipolar disorder. But there was nothing really connecting to me or relational for me because I was the only mild individual on the spectrum in there. And so nobody really understood me. And if that wasn't enough, the other kids in the group lived really, really close together. And so their parents connected due to the fact that they were really close, and they were also just involved in sports. Well, none of those parents of these kids who were supposed to be my friends really seemed that interested in reaching out to my parents. And they also shied away from my situation because they thought I was an oddball. And they never really called us, or they never really invited us to anything. And then my parents, on the other hand, didn't want to reach out because they thought that these parents were snobs and they thought they were oddballs because they were wealthy people. And so we got excluded out of a lot of things. And I wanted to talk about this to you family members out there and to those of you out there who are educators, and particularly special ed. It is really important for you as teachers or educators to come together and have open houses, not only for your special ed, but also to have things like potluck dinners or have parent get-togethers or support groups on a regular basis where the parents or the guardians or the family members can get together on a regular basis and they can talk about these issues, and they can talk about things like, well, my child has problems reading. And another parent could say, oh, I'm really good at that. So I know how to help your child. Or my child is having problems with tantrums. And then the parent on the other side could be a mentor to that child, or they could teach them social skills. And I think that's what was wrong, is that people on both sides acted like the Montagues and the Capulets in Romeo and Juliet, and they taught their kids bad things about me, and my parents taught me bad things about them that were not necessarily true. So anyway, if you have any questions or comments, please be sure to state below. Until next time, I'm Miyah Sundermeyer, and I'm signing off.